Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Anya and this is going to be, it's labelled sort of a quarantine shop my stash. It was supposed to be for April. This video is going up a little bit late. I'm filming it the week before it goes up. So I have been playing with them for a week already when you're seeing this. But I don't really know how long this is going to last. I've picked out too many products for me to use in a month. And I have sort of ended up picking up almost enough for like 2 months. I am in self-quarantine. I have left the house only once the last 3 weeks and I see that continuing. So I need to do something to keep myself occupied and also motivated and happy. And for me the easiest solution is to just give myself a lot of makeup to play with. Now I'm going to add a lot to this drawer and I'm not going to organise it on camera at first because it's going to take too long. So I'm just going to add to it and fit the stuff where I can fit it. Some of this stuff is left over from last month. Some of it, like the stuff usually, most of it's down in this corner, are just staples that are in here every month. But I don't know if I'm going to do an update in May. I'm going to see how I've done. And I might end up swapping out a couple of things depending on if I've finished anything and stuff like that. But for the most part this is going to be a 1 to 2 month shop my stash. But let's just chat about some makeup. The main thing I'm doing, which I'm not actually putting into this drawer, is I'm going to put these things, and this is the drawer system that I have all of my NYX soft lip creams in. It usually lives at the back of my desk, but in here I have 4.5 drawers, well, 4-ish drawers. I have this one which is my nudes and browns. This is pinks, corals and oranges. Reds, berries and purples. And then this drawer shares with some other products as well, but this is greys, greens, blues and just miscellaneous others. And I am adding all of my NYX soft matte lip creams into this. I'm not going to add any of the other products that are sharing the drawers, like I'm not going to add any of my Disney Midnight Masquerade lippies in here because I'm going to have more than enough with the soft matte lip creams. I have a couple already lying in these drawers. I'm going to put them back into these drawers, and this is going to live right here, which is at the front of my desk, because I want to make a review on the soft matte lip cream formulation. I have almost every single colour. I like them a lot, but not all of the shades are made equal. Some are more streaky, more patchy, a little bit harder to use. And I want to just review the whole formulation because I've wanted to do that for a while and it's going to give me something to do. If everything goes to plan, the video is going to go up at the end of May. I'm aiming for that. I have over 50 of them I think, and that's too much for me to use in a month. But in a month and a half, I think I'll be able to do it. I already know some of the colours. I've used some of them this year. And I've used this formulation for years, so I do know a lot of how a lot of the colours perform. But I'm not as familiar with all of the colours, so I do want to, in April, mainly focus on some of my favourites to sort of establish a baseline of how I feel as I start writing my review for the filming and the blog posts and stuff. And then I'm also going to be playing more around with the colours I'm not as familiar with, some of the more unusual colours, so the green, the blue, the greys, some of the purples as well as some of the pinks and the corals and stuff. Those are not the colours that I reach for the most. And I just want to have a play with them. So that's what I'm going to do, but all of the ones that are in here, I have 4 of them. I have Miami, Cape Town, Dublin and Stockholm. I'm going to put them back into their drawers because I need the space in this drawer. Now that that's out of the way, let's just continue adding, shall we? I'm adding 3 lip glosses as well. This is just to keep me on track and make sure I reach my goal of using everything. These are all the Colourpop Disney Designer Bippity Boppity Boo lip glosses from the first release. And you're going to see a lot of Disney themed products, a lot of them from Colourpop, because some of the things I want to do when playing with makeup in the coming future is create looks based on fictional characters and mainly Disney characters because I like Disney a lot. Disney's also a great escape for me. I've been watching Disney movies and stuff. I really wish Disney Plus was released in Norway because I would be watching nothing else in honesty. But I want to play around and do a couple of looks inspired by the characters, maybe their outfits and all that stuff. I'm not sure how many of them I'm going to film. I might film a couple. Might try and post some on Instagram because I want to get back into Instagram. I haven't posted in like 3 months though. Another thing I can add that's going to take up a lot of space are my eyeshadow palettes. There's a lot of them, there's too many. I'm going to start with my single shadows. So I have this small palette which used to hold my 9pan duping the vibes when I duped the Colourpop Nude Mood. I've added 3 shades to it, so the grey is a little bit, doesn't quite fit the palette. These two are both Sydney Grace products, but I've picked a lot of singles and I needed to fit everyone somewhere, and this one ended up fitting in here, so I'm going to be using that. And then for my singles, I've ended up making a somewhat rainbow looking palette. I have essentially given myself a little bit of everything to work out of. I have greys, blacks, purple, blue, green, orange, red and yellow, what I have of those colours, just so I have a little bit of everything. I have a couple of looks already in mind that I want to do. One Cinderella based is going to include these 4 colours right here, well 5 colours, this little one here, because they remind me a lot of her blue dress. I'm excited to play around with this and it's going to be interesting to see how much I can do. Now for my other eyeshadow palettes, all but one of these are Disney Colourpop. The one that isn't is the Yes Please palette. I have been wanting to play with the Yes Please, why is there a hair here, for a couple of weeks. And mainly I've been wanting to play with the yellow in here. So I'm going to add this in. It's a neutral palette, but it's more orange red versus the one that I have in the Palm palette, which is more brown based. So I think they're going to complement each other very nicely. And I also I want to play with the yellow eyeshadow. But for the rest of them I have all of my Colourpop Disney palettes. So I have the Frozen 2 ones, I have the Anna palette, which I haven't used, but it is gorgeous. I have the Elsa palette, also haven't used it, also very gorgeous. The Midnight Masquerade, I have used a couple of the shades in here. The Disney Designer one, I have also used a couple of shades. This is the most neutral out of all of them, but I find a lot of these tones run very light. And even though I have very pale skin, that works very well for me. It doesn't have a lot of depth that, for me, works. I don't really get sparkly black, that's me. But I'm going to play with it. And then I have the Misunderstood palette, which has more depth. Not all of them, again, are what I want in colour with depth, but I'm working with what I have and I'm excited to have some fun. If you want to see a video where I do a makeup look inspired by a Disney princess or a Disney character, comment it down below. I might be able to do it. I'm not going to make promises because I have to follow my body, which is why I haven't been able to post as my 2 videos a week recently. I'm hopefully gonna get better at listening to it. I say that every year and I've said that every year for like 9 years now. Hopefully getting there soon, but I'm excited to play around with these. They do, however, take up a lot of space. So I have my NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Auburn here. I also have 4 other brow pencils. I have Brow Bust from Colourpop in Auburn. I have the Precise Brow Pencil in Arched Auburn. Anastasia Brow is in Auburn, and the BH Cosmetics HD Brow Pencil in Auburn. This is a video coming, I think the week after this video goes up, or the same week. I'm just gonna compare these 5 pencils to each other because they say they are the same colour, and just give you my thoughts on the difference in formulation as well as the difference in colour, because the colour difference is kind of big. The other eyeshadows I'm adding in are the remainder of the Super Shocks from the Disney Designer Collection. So I have Hi Ho, which is a champagne colour. I have Be Our Guest, which is a pink. So This Is Love, it's like a beige shimmery one. Almost There is a really lovely sparkly glittery brown. And I have this purple one, which is a whole new world. So I have more than enough eyeshadows, and I'm not going to be able to get through all of them, I think, but I'm at least going to have fun playing with them. I'm not adding all that many base products. I'm adding in a foundation and a concealer. The foundation is the Maybelline Fit Me in 110. It's the matte and poreless version, and the concealer is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in C1. I haven't actually used this yet, and I've had it for a while, so I think it's time I break it out and try and use it. I'm adding in a lot of pencils, so I'm adding in, I think, almost all of my Linda Hallberg mood crayons. I'm adding in the purple one, which is Daring. I'm adding in the blue, which is Cool Mood. Anger Mood is the red. And then I'm adding in the orange, which is Likeable. I am adding in 2 Colourpop pencils, so I have Prance and Punch. Prance is blue, Punch is yellow. I'm adding in 2 more Makeup Mekka ones. I'm adding in the white and the black shade. And then I'm adding in a brown, and this is the Rimmel Scandaleyes Kohl Kajal in brown. So for blush, I'm adding in 3 singles. I'm adding in my Pillow Talk blush. I can't remember if this has already been in here this year. It might have been. It's very pretty and it's more of a neutral tone. So I'm excited to play with that. I'm adding in this one, which is a Midnight Masquerade Colourpop one in Court of Miracles, which is a really lovely warm pink. And then I'm adding in this one. This is the number 7 powder blush in Damson Mist, which is a very cool toned, almost slightly leaning towards purple, but a very light pink. So I have a little bit of everything in terms of blush. For bronzer as a single, I'm adding in my Contour, which is NYX HD in Taupe. This is too cool toned for me sometimes though. So this is sort of on the chopping block a bit. I'm going to play around with it, see if I can make it work. If I can't, this might end up being decluttered because it ends up looking too grey on me most of the time. For single highlighters, I'm adding in 2. I'm adding in the Fenty Diamond Veil in How Many Carats, which is a clear base with a lot of silver, shimmery, glittery gorgeousness. I haven't used this all that much, so I'm excited to play around with it. The other highlighter here is the Horse and Carriage Pressed Powder highlighter from the Disney designer Midnight Masquerade Colourpop collection. It's a really light, lovely champagne. I'm adding in 2 face palettes, so I'm adding in the Tanya Burr Sweet Cheeks face palette. Let me turn that the other way. Which has a bronzer, a peachy blush, and a very light, almost slightly peachy highlighter. I haven't used this, so I'm excited for that, and the blush looks like a blush colour I'm going to like a lot. And then I'm adding in Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit. I haven't played with this in a while, and I've added in a lot of colourful eyeshadows, but not a lot of colourful highlighters, and I have this to use because this has blues, it has a green, pink, and I think it's going to be maybe not used as much as like a cheek highlight, but I think I'm going to bring this in as an eye highlight for the brow bone or the inner corner when I feel like it, if I'm wearing a look that is more blue or more green. And that's everything I'm adding in this month. It's mainly really focused on the eyeshadow as well as the lip products. Everything else I've kept sort of minimum. I've added a lot of eyeliners to complement the large chunk of eyeshadows, but let me quickly rearrange this so that it looks a little bit neater. So this is perhaps not the best way of organising. I put all of the pencils as well as the lip glosses in this little tub here. These palettes end up going over the edge, so I'm worried they're going to fall down the back, so I just slid this one into that there as well. Super Shocks here, face palettes as well as the blushes here, more blushes as well as the bronzer here, highlighter. These are all of the other face products as well as the mascara, and I am excited for this. It's a lot of makeup, and I know I'm not going to be able to get through all of this in April. My goal isn't really to get through all of this in April. As I said, this is sort of 2 months of makeup. I might end up swapping out some of the base products at the end of April, the beginning of May, but I think for the most part a lot of the eyeshadow and the lip products are going to stay here for 2 or so more months, and I'm excited to play around with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've tried any of the products, let me know what you think of them down below. I hope you are staying safe, and I will see you again soon. Bye!